I'll just start here then. Hi. I'm the person doing your VOD review. Okay, so you have to forgive me. I'm not really used to doing like video VOD reviews that often. I usually do written ones, so I'd sound less like a nervous, rambly idiot. I can kind of think through what I want to say. But I'm actually a console player, so it's kind of hard to like switch between console and my computer and typing up notes and do timestamps and all that shit. So I think it's just the easiest way to do it. Um, Yes. Okay, so about me, so you have my credentials. I'm not just like a random person telling you shit. Um, like I said, I am a console player, so I'm probably not as good as the average PC player, but I am like a kind of high diamond 3400 main support. Play Ana, play Moira, play BAP, all that great stuff. So I think I can try to help you out here. I also swapped the colors, by the way, just so you know. So I hate that I violently hate that replay viewer fucked up the colors. So the shields are still going to be red. They're still going to be swapped there, but at least the character outlines are going to be blue for your teammates. So we'll do that. Okay, so the main issues that I'm seeing so far, this is not my first time watching it. This is like my second or third time. But I'll kind of pause and I'll go through it with you. But just before we start, like the main things to look out for, the main issues that I'm seeing with you, I'm seeing slow reaction times. It's very common in bronze. Is just kind of react a little late to things. Um, I'm I'd like to see you doing more what you need to be doing as opposed to doing things for the purpose of like getting really good stats. And this is mainly in reference to your sleep darts. A lot of times you kind of wait until the Reinhardt has like finished his charge to sleep him, and that guarantees that you'll get the sleep dart. You know, your stats look really nice. But, you know, if you haven't actually interrupted his charge, then there was no point in sleeping him. It's just getting asleep for the sake of getting asleep. So stats are not the things that are going to actually help you climb to like a higher rank. Um, I'd like to see wasting abilities a little less. You're not as bad as I expected you to be. I've done reviews for bronze Anas before, and one of the main things they do is they just kind of yoink. They just throw out their abilities and they're gone, and they have nothing to defend themselves with or heal themselves or anything like that. You're not that bad, but there are a few times, again, particularly with your sleep dart, that you just kind of tend to throw it into the enemy team, and then you just don't have it when you need to use it, and you are playing against a very charge-prone Reinhardt and a Doomfist, and those are, you really need to keep your sleep for that, but you just kind of have a tendency to waste it a little bit. And then the main thing, the really big thing that is holding you back right now is that you are like perma-scoped in. You're always scoped in. You don't need to be always scoped in. The main issue with that is that when you are scoped in like 100% of the time, you have like a very narrowed field of vision. You can't see what's happening around you, and it's not like, oh, you're a bad player, you don't know what's happening. It's that you literally cannot see. You're zoomed in. So I would really love to see you quick scoping or even just doing like normal unscoped shots a little more, because right now, anytime that you want to shoot somebody, you just kind of like hunker down, sit still, and like scope in and shoot them. And again, this is like things where, you know, now you're going to be able to say, oh, my accuracy is really high, I don't understand what's wrong. But you know, if you have to sit completely still, scoped in to do that, it's not worth it, right? Um, so that tells me that your accuracy is bad enough on unscoped shots, or that you don't know how to quick scope, and those are like bigger issues, right? So again, don't. This is why it's bad to rely exclusively like on stats, because they can make you look really good if you do certain things, but like I said, stats aren't isn't it's not what's going to get you to a higher rank. Um, all that being said, I was really impressed. I do think that you're definitely one of the better players out of this whole match. I think you're probably, I don't know exactly where you are in terms of bronze. You just told me you were bronze. I don't know if you're high bronze, low bronze, anything like that. I'm guessing high. I think you could make it to silver easily if you just like fix a few problems, and you know, we can go from there, right? Um, but yeah, it's really it's not as hopeless as it seems. It's really not. I think you did very good. I think you have a good awareness of what you need to be doing. Um, I just think you have those main issues that are holding you back. And another thing that I don't know is I don't know how often you play. I know sometimes people post on like Overwatch University and whatever, and they're just like, I have an 80% win rate, but I'm stuck in bronze. What's happening? Ooh, and it's you find out that they play like 12 hours a month or something. So I don't know if you're like grinding all the time, or if you just don't play that often. Um, but yeah, I think that there's just a few issues. So all right. One last thing. I have the world's squeakiest chair. Please ignore it. I'm sorry. I can't do anything about it. All right, so I'm gonna pause, like, if we have issues, but until then, I'm just gonna start and we'll see how it goes. Oh, the red shields really bug me. I don't know why they haven't fixed the colors. Okay. So first thing, this is what I said, like, you're using both abilities right at the start, right at the same time. And you're right outside spawn here, so it's not that big of an issue. You're probably not likely to get super killed, literally right outside. You could just back into spawn if you're like super pressured. But it tells me you have a bad habit of using both abilities at the same time. Especially right now, you have a Doomfist. That motherfucker can fly in from anywhere, and he can just take you out in one shot, right? Your sleep dart is the only defense that you have against him. So you're running countercharged here, so there was really no point in using sleep dart to begin with. The better thing to do would have been to throw the grenade first when both of them were down and there was no shield to block it. But it looks like you got blocked by the Sigma shield anyways. It's very difficult to play. It's very difficult to play Ana into double shield, and you're kind of forcing that. But I think you do. I think you do fairly well, all things considered. Speaking of which, by the way, this is a great surprise at the end for me here, but normally when we do, just as an FYI, when we do VOD reviews, it's usually a loss that you record, like a very close loss. You tried your best, but you didn't win. This is actually a win, so good for you. I'm happy that you won, but just so you know in the future. And again, like I said, like we're constantly scoped in here, right? Reinhardt is okay. I like you shooting the turret. It's very good, very good. You have some long range damage. You can be the one to take out the turret. Yeah, nice sleep. Saved your Doomfist. This is just kind of unlucky. Normally with Reinhardt, you play further back if you know they have charge. I mean shatter. My bad. But he got it fairly early on. You're right outside spawn. It's just kind of unlucky. Alright, so we got Nano now. They used Coalescence. Awesome. Okay, so this enemy Reinhardt hiding outside your spawn, looking for a really sneaky charge, should be your first indicator that you probably have to keep your sleep dart very close and like on you all the time. Because if he's doing shit like this, like at the start of the game, it's just gonna be that all fucking game. So if you have like a very chargy Reinhardt on the enemy team, you keep that sleep dart. I'm not opposed to the grenade on the Reinhardt here. He's kind of low. I get that. And I will say, I do like your positioning on defense. I mean, on attack, my bad. On defense is actually not great, but on attack is pretty good. Man on the line. In this case, I would back up a little further, like just a little bit until that mini health pack on the left there. Partially because you're already missing some health. It'd be good to just grab the health pack anyways, but also look at where you're at right now, like where you're standing. Look at how many people have, if somebody decides to like actually shoot at you right now, they're occupied with everybody on point. Great. But eventually, as you rank up, as you go higher, people will start to say like, oh, there's an Ana literally just standing there in the middle of point and you just shoot at her. So always make sure that you have some kind of cover near you. Like I said, your positioning, especially on attack, is really not that bad. It's very good for bronze, actually. But, always make sure you have that cover in case anybody starts shooting at you, especially Zenyatta. That motherfucker will take you out in like two little dinks. It would be great to have an anti here to, get some juicy kills, but Like I said, you used it already.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
I'm on fire. Thanks.
Nap time.
Good sleep. Yeah, really needs to sleep him because he's alone there, but juicy. I don't need to shoot at Sigma while he's using that suck. He'll actually just benefiting him. Okay, there's is there a Reinhardt on your right? Oh, he just died. Okay. Shoot the turret, good job. There is a Reinhardt on your right. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so don't be scoped in like that because you literally just walked past and did not see him. Alright, and this is the other thing. This is like the first instance of this is the first instance of you letting him finish his charge, like instead of actually trying to like stop him mid-charge. And here he didn't get anybody, he missed it, so it's fine. But especially if he like actually has somebody, like don't wait until his charge is finished. Like interrupt that motherfucker.
Escorting the payload.
And when Doomfist is ulting, I don't know why he didn't go for you here. Maybe he thought it was too risky. But again, just yoinking the sleep dart out. No need to do that. They're already all the way over there. Yeah, like, I mean, here's the thing. Even if you had slept somebody over here, like, what are they going to do? You have, your options are Sigma, would eat it, and Moira, who the second anybody shot her, she would have just faded away. And everybody's already shooting at her. So there's no point besides padding stats. And it's kind of risky to do that, because then if somebody comes for you, you have no defenses. Somebody nice. Yeah, and it looks like he did try to reposition to be closer to cover there. It's pretty good. Nobody's on payload right now. Okay. Let's see, here's the thing. There's a Reinhardt sneaking behind you right now. And obviously you can't see it because I can see it on the replay viewer. But look at how you scope in. Okay, that might be a little bit later. My bad. With the Reinhardt and the Ashe here, just don't even waste your time. Don't even waste your time like this. If they need healing, they gotta come to you. Problem, this is not really like a bronze problem normally. I see this more with like kind of low gold, silver, is that Annas are like, oh, I die because I move out of position to like try to reach my teammates. They're not near me. No. You got to train them. If they need healing, they come to you. And the Ashe does come to you later. So you don't need to be like kind of hopping here trying to reach them. You stay where you're safe. Stay where you know you need to be, and let them come to you if they need healing. Because right now, this is just kind of wasting your time.
I need healing. Get in there, Bob.
Alright, where's that goddamn Reinhardt? Let's hear somebody. Yeah, like you don't need to scope in to heal that. There we go, that's what I was talking about. Okay, sorry, like I said, I only watched this once before. If you had not been scoped in, you would have seen the Reinhardt at the top there. But because you were scoped in, you don't notice him. And it's not like, oh, you know, you're a bad player, you don't notice things. It's that you're so scoped in, you cannot see him. So you missed getting the kill on him. You missed getting shattered somehow. But if you'd have been shattered, it would have been a big problem. So that's just kind of like the first example of it's kind of the first example of one day I'll collect my thoughts of staying too scoped in. Sorry, it's early. Alright, shut up, Ashe. Reinhardt just went balls deep. Beautiful. Love that. You actually land that sleep dart. That's very impressive. Good job. You missed the grenade. Yeah, you might have to be a little more careful. Like, your grenades are not the biggest issue that I have with your gameplay. I would work on those a little later, maybe, but yeah, you do seem to miss them fairly often. Okay, and this is another thing. I'm not sure if you're. I assume you're probably on PC. If you are, you have like the actual chat. You don't need the chat to do this. I don't know if you're in voice. I don't know if you, whatever. My point is, I don't hear you using the "I need healing" command. Like, don't be afraid to ask for the resources that you need from your teammates. You know, like they can say no at that point. You know, get pissed, but you know, ask for it. Especially if you think that you're the kind of player who is like belongs in a higher rank, that you're a better player than these people. You know, if you think that they're dumber than you, lead them by the hand. You know, your Moira is not a DPS Moira from what I can tell. So if she's not healing you, the only reason she's not healing you is because you're playing safe. You have good positioning. You're behind your team, and she just hasn't noticed. She doesn't have the awareness that you're missing a lot of health. So don't be afraid to say like, "I need healing," and she'll come back. She'll heal you, and you'll be all right. Or you can grab a health pack on your left here. Like, you know, you have options here. There's no need to walk around like missing half your health for a while, because if you know you get hit by a random fire strike or some stray bullets, you're going to be in trouble, and it's not worth it. It's a really dumb reason to die, right? You had the resources at your disposal, you just didn't use them.
Go. I keep you here. I will keep you here.
Yeah, so you get hit by a fire strike, you know, you're down to like 22 health. What if the Sigma turns around and like shoots at you like even remotely? His primary fire bounces, so you would have been dead here. This is like I said, just a really dumb reason to die. You had a health pack right there on the left that you walked past. Yeah, and the Moira finally noticed she's gonna come heal you up, so that's good. But yeah, just don't be afraid to ask. I don't know if I would move this close. I normally prefer to play a little farther back like ML7 does. And I know you watch him normally. I'm like, oh, do you watch ML7? Yeah. But yeah, always play by cover. So you're good that you're not like walking straight into the enemy team. Thank God. But I would still like to see you play like a little closer to actual cover, because if somebody starts shooting at you right now, you're gonna lose like half your health before you can make it to the nearest wall. You know. But you took it anyways, so you're fine. Speed up a little bit. So on attack, your positioning is fairly good. Like I said, you just, as long as you're not like walking straight into the enemy team, you're probably better than like 90% of the Annis and Bronze. On defense, there is a little more trouble, I think. Just because you were constantly I think mostly because you were scoped in. There were a lot of times where like you weren't backing up with your team, and you ended up being like really close to Reinhardt, like just right on his ass, and then you get run over and take a lot of damage and stuff. And that was not necessary. All right, preset nades, very advanced, very nice, very nice. So I'm gonna be honest here. Peeking out just to get the damage on D.Va. Well, for one, you don't really need to peek out here, and two, it's not worth getting a few shots on a D.Va if it means that you're gonna get like headshot here. As I'm sure you know, the Widowmakers often stay in like that kind of spot up top there. And I know bronze Widowmakers are not the most terrifying things in the world, but even the worst Widowmakers in the world could hit a completely still target. Like, I think a lot of Annas don't realize, but when you're scoped in, you're, like, actually, like, so fucking still from, like, the enemy's perspective. Because, you know, you're still kind of walking around a little bit, so you're like, oh, I'm not completely still. But you're basically immobile when you're scoped in. You move very slowly. So it's an easy shot to hit. Like, this is not the duel you want to be taking. you don't need to be scoped in to hit these shots.
This is my will. I have your back.
Again, no need to yoink the sleep dart out there. It's not necessary. Even if you sleep somebody, like there's no guarantee that you're actually going to get the kill on them. Just don't worry about padding your stats. Worry about keeping yourself alive, and you need the sleep dart. Another thing, I don't know, maybe the replay viewer is kind of hard to see, like when somebody's like super close or not. Especially if you're scoped in, you hear that Doomfist charging his shot. That kind of that grunting right there. That is the sound of Doomfist charging his punch, and he can one shot you with that. So if you hear that, like get the fuck out of scope right away, and start looking around because you're gonna need to sleep that because it's the only way you're gonna survive that. And there you go. Normally when you get brought up into the air by Doomfist, like the only way to survive at that point is to sleep him. And look at that, your sleep dart's on cooldown because you like threw it into main for no reason, and that's how you died. Let's speed up a little bit and get back. You're almost back at this point. I don't know if I would risk doing a big nade like that. See if it lands. Alright, well, you answered somebody, but it would have been much better to keep your Reinhardt alive. I think you could have kept him alive there. You got him anyways. Alright. So yeah, I wouldn't risk. And again, this is... Where did we use our sleep? Let me see. Yeah, you just kind of threw it out, and you didn't have sleep. And Doomfist comes for you, and you die. Like when he is straight ahead of you doing that uppercut, you need to have that sleep. Like he's just charging his punch right now. The grenade, even if it had hit you, I don't think it would have saved you. He's kind of weird. He's a very big. His God, this is why I do written reviews. I'm sorry. His interactions with Anna are really interesting. It kind of depends. He is technically her counter. It just kind of depends who's better. Because your sleep dart can really shut him down, but you need to have decent aim, and I do think you have good enough aim to do that. I think your sleep darts have been really good so far when they've actually been aimed at somebody. But yeah, you need a sleep dart for this basically. Feeling Sigma, very good. Alright, so on like second rewatch here, I am actually noticing a few more problems with your grenade. A lot of them have been missed so far. Be conscious of your teammates, be conscious of shields. They can be blocked by a lot of things. Kind of interesting position here. I'm not sure why you'd be so anxious to get really close. I think where you were playing from before was better. I would not move in so close here. And see, now you can't reach like the entire rest of the team at the back there. Do not run out into the open here. You were behind cover. You were perfectly safe, and you just run out into cover. Run out into the open here. I'm sorry. I'm like half dead midway through the spot. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're gonna die to the soldier here. I think it's no reason to do this ever. Just get behind cover. Oh yeah, you don't die. Just barely dodge that shatter. Okay. Okay, so this sleep dart isn't as randomly thrown as the others, but it's still kind of just yoink, and just goes out there. The best thing to do here would have been, I think, what you were trying to do was sleep the enemy Reinhardt so you could stop hitting your Reinhardt through his shield. But again, you need to actually aim that. You can't just like throw it out there.
I am on fire. I need healing.
So yeah, we're dying a little more on defense than we were on attack, right?
I'm on fire.
I do like to shoot at the enemies. Not a lot of people in lower levels do that. Just standing on the payload. I don't know what he's trying to do. That's kind of funny.
I will keep you here.
And again, like you're very close right now. You're very close. I would be backing up. You are trying to, but this is in general too close already. And then on top of that, you're scoped in. So now you're like standing super close to your team, and you still have you have no idea what's happening. Like you literally cannot even see the corner here on the right, right? Like that's crazy. You need to be way farther back if you're going to be scoped in like this. And the thing is, this is the really frustrating thing, is that all they have is, oh, they have a soldier. Yeah, like, so they have a soldier and they have a Doomfist. Like, if you just stood way in, like, way farther back, and you just scoped in all the time, there would actually be, like, almost no negative consequences to your, like, scope, like hard scope habit. Because they have nothing that can, like, stop you from that far away. They don't have snipers. If you have snipers, you shouldn't be, like, hard scoped in from far away, because you're just a really easy shot. Or if they have flankers, if you're too far away from your team, you can get killed very easily. But right now, like, if you look at their team comp, they don't really have anything that can hurt you from that far away. So if you wanted to die significantly less on this defense, what you needed to have done was you needed to be way farther back. Or, just don't be hard scoped in all the time. Or a combination of both, ideally, to be honest. But right now, you're just playing very, very close. Yeah, like, you shouldn't have ever been shattered here. You should not be that close. Okay, at least we're doing some unscoped shots here. Alright, thank God. Grab the health back, very nice. You better just die here, I don't think you're gonna make it out. Oh, well, grab the health back, grab the health back! Alright, we're good. Oh God, you came so close to making it out. Honestly, when you're getting chased that hard, the better thing to do is just die and reset. Because right now you're going to see like 3 of your teammates already back, and you and your Reinhardt, who are very integral to your team's success, are going to be like the last ones coming back. And it's just, this is how you get steamrolled, basically. You do get like a handle on this, I think, towards the end, but your team does. But if you ever get steamrolled in general in your games, this is how it happens. Is people take too long to try to survive, and then they end up getting killed at the very end. Nice sleep. Very nice, very nice. Excuse me. I'm getting a little poke damage on him there. I like that, I like that. Okay, again, these are late reaction times, and combined with the scoped in is really bad. Like, you're just standing there if you wanted to. I don't know why Reinhardt went for the Sigma, but you have to be aware of these things, especially like in bronze. People just do weird fucking shit, right? Like look at this motherfucker. He thinks he's Thomas the Tank Engine. Like, just, you have the power to stop him, but you have to be more aware, and you cannot be like super scoped in all the time. That fire strike might hit you. Yeah, get behind cover. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I think you survived this, and I'm really impressed with the sleep, because I thought for sure you were dead. But and your teammates peeled. You got the sleep off. Very good, very good. So you slept the person that your Reinhardt charged. So you got kill credits. I guess that's nice. But I feel like your sleep dart would have been better used here on the Doomfist. You could have slept him right after he finished his ult. There's like a period of time where he's like still, but you can sleep him. I feel like that would have been a little bit better use of your sleep dart. You almost get to. Okay, see that time. Okay, this is good. This is good. At least that time you tried to like you saved your Sigma, right? So even if it was like in the nick of time, but you still saved the Sigma. So I'd like to see more of that and less of like waiting until he's done. Miss the grenade. I'm doing those a little more carefully. If you have I need help bound, that's a really good situation to start spamming that. Because you have teammates that are alive, just you and your Sigma got separated by the Reinhardt charge.
It'll take more than that to keep me out of the fight.
Oh my god, I'm sleepy. Alright, I should heal up more there. Yeah, we're just throwing out sleeps. Oh, the Reinhardt turned slightly. That is very unlucky. Alright, we missed the nano. So I'll get to this one at the end and talk a little more about like getting value out of your abilities.
This will only hurt for a bit. Watching your back.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna be bitchy. I'm gonna talk about it now. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you play a character like Ana or like Bap, your abilities are like the most important thing. Your abilities, your ultimates, you have to get value out of them. If you don't get value out of those abilities when you're playing an Ana, a character like Ana, then there's no fucking reason to play Ana at all. Like, I have to say this to a lot of Anas, like, because there's a very common problem of wasting abilities. If you don't get value out of your sleep, if you don't get value out of your nade, if you don't get value out of your nano, then there's no reason to play Ana at all. You could play a character like Moira, you could play a character like Mercy, where you don't have to you don't have to try as hard. You don't have to worry about that ability usage as much. And you would just have such an easier time. Because really, all you're really doing, if you're not getting the value out of those abilities, is all you're doing is you're just making your life a lot harder. Because you're forcing yourself to play a character who heals through like very intensive aim, and you're harder. You have a harder survivability. It's you're just making your life difficult, right? If you're only going to get value out of your own healing, then there was no reason to play Ana in the first place. So just keep that in mind when you're using your abilities, that you always have to get value out of them. Otherwise, you just have an easier time playing a character like Mercy or Moira. Because right now you've missed a few nanos. I think you missed a lot of grenades, a lot more than I thought originally. You kind of waste your sleeps a lot. So at that point, if you're not sleeping, you're not getting nano value. If you're not getting the antis or whatever, it's just you can switch to like a purely healer based character and probably have an easier time surviving too. Playing a little too close, and play around this corner here, or even all the way back, like right near the spawn doors. Okay, at least you tried to take a sleep on the Reinhardt that time. Yeah, see, like, right now, you're trying to heal your Reinhardt, but the Brig is, like, attacking you as well, and this is a good anti on her. But there's no reason you should be taking this damage at all, because you should not be this close. Like, if you're taking the same damage that your Reinhardt is taking, you're way too fucking close. That's a good rule of thumb. Okay, look at that, minute versus 3. This is why you win, because you just have more time. We got Bap in the window.
One. Attackers incoming. Defend objective
Heal up your Mar. You gotta always be conscious if you're ever playing support, apart from like your main tank, like the Reinhardt, the other person that you have to most keep your eyes on is always your other support. And especially with characters like Moira, people are like, oh, you know, she can heal herself, she's totally fine. But like, I mean, there's no harm in it. You have to always keep your eye for your other support. What if she doesn't have her orb? Like she just used her damage orb. She doesn't have any healing she can do to herself right now because she just used her orb. So, you know, if you keep them alive, they'll keep you alive. That's the support rule. And this is similar to what I hate when I get it like stuck like mid scope. This is the other rule, like I was saying with the like asking your Moira to heal you. This is another thing. This is something I would use like for communication. We don't have like a communication wheel for this, but if you're using mic, if you're using chat, I would like to see make sure you can always like communicate with your Reinhardt and say like, hey, I'm playing from this side. Please back up like to the right. People have a habit of backing up to the left here, and it breaks line of sight with you, which means that you either have to move like into a really unsafe position to try to reach them, or they just die where like you can't see them. They're like, I need healing. So yeah, just communicate and say like, hey, I cannot see you on that left side. You gotta back up to the right.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine. Get into position. Next time.
30 seconds remaining.
How did he not kill that Junkrat? Hold on a minute. Did you interrupt it? I thought you hit that a little too late.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
Yeah, enemy Mars is a DPS Mara.
Next time.
30 seconds.
Okay, I have no idea how they didn't kill him. Maybe maybe the charge stopped like right before. But yeah, it's another thing. Is it? I guess that sleep dart would have been kind of hard to hit from that angle. But you generally want to stop it. You will generally want to stop the charge before it lands, not after. Destroying your mortality, very good.
It's going to be okay.
10 seconds.
Alright, you ate the fire strike. Remember, you can ask for healing. Well, this is where the mortar pressures you, right?
You're powered up. Get in there.
Yeah. So the mortar pressures you onto point, so you get hit by like some random damage because you walked into the middle of the point. But the main thing here is that you're already at like 80 health. So again, if you're low on healing, you have to either watch your own health and grab a health pack, or you need to ask your mortar for help, because this is part of why you were like so pressured right away, because you're already low health. Alright, we're good.
Ready for battle.
And yeah, with like 3 minutes on the clock here, there's no reason to ever lose this. Just because you have time to build up ultimates, they didn't have that time that well. If you have like a mini, you have to be very careful with your time. But yeah, you have enough time to get their abilities here. I like trying to get shots in the Orisa, I really like that. But Jafar is injured. Landing shots on the far in bronze, very, very nice. So about turrets, when they're grouped up like this, it's actually really bad to group them up like this, because just a little tip, turrets have the same HP as melee attack. So if they're like grouped up like that, you can literally, sometimes it's easier to, instead of just like aiming and shooting them, it's easier to just walk up really close and just punch them. You can just take them both out that way. And also in general, unless your team is like really, 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 really ignoring them, you're like the last person who should be taking out these turrets, just because, well, you can see what happens. you don't really have a lot of health to work with here, and you can't heal yourself, so you're a really bad person to take out the turrets.
I wasn't cut out for retirement anyways. Go. I'll keep you healed.
TV eating the shotsman bar, yeah. That's the Anna life.
I will keep you healed.
Oh yeah, one last positioning error here, I remember. You set up here like kind of, well, right now you're just staring down main, and it's fine because the enemy team is backed up a little bit. But I think you lose this, and then you kind of set up on the right side of this choke. I think it's much safer to stand on the left side of the choke, because right now if you stand on the right, like you have sights down main basically, right? So anybody who like comes around that corner can see you, and they can just get a free shot on you. Yeah, like Arisa can shoot you, Symmetra can shoot you, Junkrat can shoot you.
Get back in the fight.
Oh, unlucky.
Go. I'll keep you healed.
But yeah, again, like look at that. You have like at least 2 people who are looking at you right now, and Junkrat's about to walk back in, so it's not a good place to stand. You get hit by the random Symmetra thing. Now you gotta waste your grenade to heal yourself. This is not a good place to stand, so positioning error.
You're going to be okay.
There's a big ult. I'd probably the nano the monkey here.
You're powered up. Get in
Oof, and we missed another nano. Okay. But yeah, this is what I mean about getting value. So these are, you've had a few missed nanos now. So this is I mean, like I said, you still win. You still have like enough ults, and your team manages to hold it out. But these are like errors that you can fix, right? These are not things you can blame on your teammates. Trying mortality, very good.
Heal up. I will keep you
Yeah, that looks like a win to me. Alright, great work. Alright, yeah, so these are just the things that I just want you to keep in mind. So the main issue is, so just again, to recap, when you hard scope in, you can't see so many things around you. Like your field of vision is like completely, it's very limited. And that will really hurt your awareness, which in bronze you need all the awareness you can get, to be honest. I'd like to see you not waste your sleep darts so often, especially when you're playing as a chargy Reinhardt and a Doomfist. You really, really need them to survive, and that's usually what got you killed. You didn't die that often, but you died enough. There were a lot of preventable deaths here that you just didn't have sleep dart. What was the other thing? Yeah, I'd like to see you focus less on stats. Worry less about like, oh, I got these many nanos off. I got that many sleeps. I'm pretty sure my English is completely fucked up at this point. I'm so tired. But you know, worry less about the numbers of what you got, and think about like what value you're actually contributing to the team. And yeah, it's like if you're not going to get value out of those abilities, if you're going to miss your nanos, you're going to nano the Moira, you're going to nano the Sigma, like he doesn't have ult. If you're going to do that, and you're not going to get the grenades, you're going to throw them against the shield, you're going to miss them, or you know you're not using your sleep to like counter the Doomfist or the Reinhardt charges, then you'll have an easier time just playing an easier character. So make sure you're getting value out of those abilities. And I think, oh yeah, and just the last thing is be sure to try to communicate with your teammates a little more if you're a person who uses voice chat, or even if you're not, you can always use I need healing as just a button. So yeah, I think that's all I would say. I think if you fix those things, you'll easily make it to silver. And then, you know, we'll see what new bad habits form, you know, what habits stuck and didn't get changed. And, you know, you could go from there and, you know, little by little, you'll climb up, right? So really, good luck.